I help people start nonprofits. I charge a fee to help them with that. And although there's no guaranteed money right away just from starting a nonprofit, there are so many people who don't understand how to start a nonprofit, the verbiage, what to put on the application. So when they find me, like, I'm literally experiencing people enthused to pay me $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 at a time, and they're super, super happy about. I can't believe I found you on YouTube. I found your page on TikTok, man. I watch every video.
Chef say I gotta kill this.
Let's go. What is going on, man? Welcome back to another episode of Can I Be Real, man. We like to take a break from the bullshit. I am your host here, big bro, King Himothy, legendary. Across the table from me, I got my brother with me, as always. You know what I'm saying? Unk in the house, Dion the most.
We just said, hey, I told y'all I ain't Unk no more. I done dropped my status now. I'm back down to big bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm back down to big bro.
Yeah, they gonna keep you young.
Yeah, it's gonna keep me young. Yeah, it's gonna keep me young, man.
But man, we got another guest in the building. We got a special guest in the building. Guy I've been connected with for a nice little minute, and I feel like he would be perfect to bring on the show, bro. He gonna give out some information, some game that I feel like the world just needs to. You know what I'm saying? Some good information. Good knowledge.
Thanks.
We was just talking too before we even just did the podcast, bro. Just understanding information. So, you know, we got somebody special in the building, none other than Himothy in the building, man.
Yeah.
Tim, him.
Yeah.
I am him. Himothy.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's going on, brother?
How y'all doing?
Man, we solid, bro.
Good.
We solid, man.
Yeah, man, I
Blessed
appreciate
to be
y'all
here.
having me.
Appreciate you
Nah,
coming,
for sure,
man.
Got a dope setup, man.
Yeah,
we appreciate it, bro. We
I came in like,
appreciate
okay,
it.
my boys got some real things going
Yeah,
on.
man, I'm not gonna bring you to no shack, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I be
It's
knowing,
dope.
like, when I my people that I bring, bro, that I try to go and get, I know, like, y'all are legit, you know?
Yeah.
And so I want y'all to think the same way of me. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to understand, like, okay, like, I know bro ain't gonna play. You know what I'm saying? So I need
like
to come
that.
with my, so you feel me?
I like that.
It's the same way. But trust me, when I say, like, when I came and I hit you, I was like, bro, I need you on the show. Bro, it's because I know you have some information that, like I said, the world needs. You know what I mean? So you was definitely handpicked, my brother. You was definitely handpicked. You know,
Hey, what we say, real people,
real
stories,
real
that
conversation.
can help you in your real life,
Yeah,
bro.
facts.
Yeah.
Facts. So that's what the Can I Be Real stands for. We don't do like the celebrities now. Jay-Z, if you want to come talk to us, my brother, we welcome you in. UNB, we'll have 2 seats. But for the most part, bro, we don't do like the whole celebrity route. We don't want to oversaturate the game. We want to get real people like you that come and give the real world some real information in a real everyday life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's why we got you, my brother.
Absolutely. I'm privileged to be here, man. So hopefully I can,
Yes, sir.
do what you guys have called me here to do.
Yes, sir. So, man, look, let's jump right into it, man. So just so the people can get a little background history, you know what I mean, about who you are. If you could just introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, you know what I mean, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, man. So my name is Himothy Wright. I'm from Dallas, Texas, originally born and raised. I actually joined the Navy in 2012. You know, I feel like I had a great upbringing. My mom and my dad were split, but my mom and my dad were both very present in my life the entire time. I'm very blessed to say that. I have a lot of friends who are not in the position to say that. You know what I'm saying? I can call my dad right now, and I really find value in that. Me being a dad, like truly, I find value in that. I respect him. Respect my mom for that journey. Man, they don't got it as sweet as we got as far as all the resources. So when you, as a parent, like, you can really appreciate, like, damn, y'all used to really kind of buy me a lot of stuff when y'all was younger. Like, and I know y'all not having no money now. Now that I'm really aware, you know, so I'm blessed. I'm blessed with that. But I joined the Navy in 2012, man. Just was trying to do something different, get away from what I was on. I'm not really sure what I wanted to do, but man, I truly feel like it was God just like, nah, do this. You know, none of my friends, nobody in my family was like, you ever thought about joining the military? Like, that's something you want to do? My mom actually asked me one time, like, you ever thought about joining the military? And I was like, no. And it was, just a genuine response. About a year or so later, like, I actually signed my contract joining. I'm 18 at this point, so I signed my contract before I even told my parents I was going. You know, and my dad wasn't too fond of it, but my mom, she supported me, and my dad supported me, but he wasn't as thrilled. My mom, she was happy for me. And I feel like that was like the start of my path to really like turned me into who I was. I was just really confused. I think just like a lot of us, or maybe even still today, but at that time, just very confused about where I was trying to go, what I wanted to do. And me joining the Navy, I ended up becoming what you call the RPOC, me being in boot camp. Boot camp is like 8 weeks long, 10 weeks, 6 weeks, depending on when you go. And I ended up being the leader of the entire boot camp. So like we had an all male division. So this dude's from 18. I was 18 at the time. I was 19 at the time. Dudes that's 18 all the way up to 38. I think it was like 35 at the time. They've changed the rules now, but it was like 35 at the time. 90 of us. And probably like the second weekend, the dude who was the leader, he was like, he had like muscles and he was kind of one of the older gentlemen there. So they assumed he could be the most mature individual to lead the division. Coming to find out, he couldn't swim. So I was in the Navy. I didn't go to the Air Force, the Army. Thank God. Like the Navy was sweet. I ain't gonna lie. But me being there, you have to be able to swim in order to graduate boot camp. So he couldn't swim. I remember the day, man. I'll never forget. My leader, or my recruiter, told me like, if you want to have a cool boot camp, just go to boot camp, stay in the back, do everything you're told, and it'll be smooth for you. And on this day, like one week and a half in boot camp, he got fired because he couldn't swim, and they was like, "Who wants his job?" And nobody raised their hand. And bro, I don't know what it was. My hand just went up.
I do it.
And then the leader walked up to me and looked me right in my eyes and was like, "You sure you can do this?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Not sounding like a bitch you want." And I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Get your ass up there." And from that day on, 8 weeks later, like I never got fired. I was the leader the entire time. That was rare. I didn't know that until the end. But that 8 weeks, bro, like it really, really, really like changed me, like how I was, how I am, how I talk to people, even to this day. And then, shit, man, all the good things happened when I was in the Navy. I met the mother of my child. We're not together, but she's an amazing mom. Met one of my best friends, named is Tony Stevenson. He actually opened a door to entrepreneurship for me, which I could forever be grateful for. He introduced me to a company called World Financial Group, where I was selling life insurance. And it's like network marketing. So people will look at network marketing like it's a pyramid scheme, right? Where like, if you're interested in the company, I'll come sit down in front of you and I'll share the whole game with you, but then I'll show you how you should do what I'm doing, bro. Like I'm making 500, 1,000 per client. You at the job, what you're doing every 2 weeks, I'm doing it like every couple of days, and everyone's looking for opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I realized that was, even for me saying this right now, I realized that was my gift. And like, people never told me no. And like, we started building a big team, like a really big team, like 30, 40, 50 people coming to our office every day. And I was the leader. This is from boot camp though. You know what I'm saying? Like the Navy changed my life for real. Like it was a great place. It was a great time for me. But then, that just led me into, me doing what it is that I'm doing today as an entrepreneur. I got the Navy in 2020, so I served 8 years in the Navy. I started entrepreneurship while I was in the Navy, and that's kind of was the reason why I got out. It's like, all right, I found I got a way for me to get out the Navy, and it's providing me income. It wasn't guaranteed, but my efforts was guaranteed, just like still to this day, like I'm doing something that feels guaranteed how I'm doing it. Yeah. For me personally, but in the truth is though it's not guaranteed. Every month, it's still like
it's an error.
Yeah, we gotta every time no matter how much money I make, it's all from new people. It's still it's some residue from older people as well.
I was just gonna say you don't get no residuals.
Well, I do something completely different now. So no, I don't get residuals.
Got it.
Life insurance is kind of depending on how you do it, it could be tricky, right? So, let's say, for example, you buy a life insurance policy from me for $200 a month. I make maybe $1,800 depending on your level. It's pretty good commission, right? But let's say you go 6 months and then you got some financial struggles that's going on and you cancel the policy. I'm going to get what you call a chargeback. So, at the time, my whole market were military people who 23, 24, 25, still trying to figure it out. They might not see the value in life insurance enough to continue that to 100, 200 a month, year after month after month after month. So it's like
up and down.
The only way network marketing works is you have to continue to bring new people into the business. Because in my opinion, this isn't true for everybody, but in a lot of the cases, over time they find out what it really is, and then they're not interested in that. You know, so you got to keep bringing in new unawareness. You know what I'm saying? People who don't.
That's why they keep hyping you up to bring in new people. Hey, bring 5 more people. Right. Hey, Brian.
Because none of those people know.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But that's my perspective. By the way, everything that I'm saying today is my truth, but not the truth. You know what I'm saying? Even if I made over $1 million, it's not the way, it's a way. I'm an opinionated person just like every other person. I don't know what you should be doing. But, you know, I do believe that God lives in you and you already know what you should be doing. I'm just hoping to kind of maybe share some perspectives that like hit that nerve to go get you to do what you already know you're supposed to do. Because I know for sure, no matter what, I'm thinking about myself too much to know what you should do. You know? So it'll only be ego that would tell you this is what you should be doing. It will only be ego when I say that. So I just want to make sure.
When you get to that point though, because a lot of people because I see you and your message is motivating, you know what I'm saying? And it's uplifting and inspiring. But like you said, it's not directive. Like this is what you need to be doing. You just giving your perspective, right? In today's times of social media and people blowing up, like how are you able to keep your ego out of your message to where you can deliver a strong message without being so ego driven and directive?
That's a great question. I think intention is everything. So like after you develop what your intent is, then you understand how to over time how to control the ego. You know, when you understand what your intent is, like if a lot of times, like let's say if your intent is to get money, man, we live in America. It's capitalism. I'm sure I'm gonna mention that at some point, but like you gotta earn somehow, some way. So if that's your only intent, you know, because you can do anything to get it, you will do anything to get it. But when you got a different intent, that kind of shields you. You know, there's a scripture that says, "Where there is no vision, the people shall perish." Right? But then there's another version where there's no vision, the people shall perish. Well, where there is no vision, the people shall cast off restraint. Right? Now, if you Google what the definition of restraint is, it just very simply means to stay in limits, stay in boundaries, to say no to things. So when there is no vision, if you have no vision to be fit, I have no reason to cast off the restraint of saying no to food. You know? If I have no vision to be financially independent, I have no need to cast off the restraint of going to buy things that I'm not ready to buy yet at this time. You know what I'm saying? So having that vision for whatever it is that you desire, whatever you're doing, over time, the journey helps you restrain yourself in certain ways for you to whatever your intent is. And you know, the beautiful thing about this world, America is a great place to be, bro, because no matter what your intent is,
it can be fulfilled.
It can be fulfilled, bro. You can do it. Like, and it can provide you the life that you desire. Even if outside looking in, I'm talking bad about it, he talking bad about it, it can still feel very good to you, and you can do it completely different from how I'm saying it right now. And that's what makes America the best country, in my opinion. But not even just that. That's what makes like God so real to me. You know what I'm saying?
So you are a entrepreneur. When most people hear the word entrepreneur, they automatically think free time, a lot of money. I can wake up when I want to, buy what I want to. Life is grand as an entrepreneur. What is the truth behind being an entrepreneur, with you being one? What would you say is the truth to that? Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. They automatically think, oh, I'm finna have a bunch of free time and free ass money.
Spend a lot of money. Go on trips.
I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't got to do nothing. I can live like I see people do on Instagram. So what is the truth behind being an entrepreneur? What is it like to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. The truth is that's the truth. Like that's the opportunity that you have being an entrepreneur. In most cases, you don't have that type of opportunity just going to work for somebody. So it is the truth that you can do that. But the reality of that truth is there's work in between there. There's things that you have to set up. There's systems that you have to put in place. There's people that you got to hire. There's levels of understanding. There's a a completely different individual, more than likely, that you have to become. There's a lot of snake skin on you that you have to shred off in order for you to even. Can you even, like, if 100K came into your life in May 1st and then it came again in June and then again in July, can your body even handle that? Like, if me saying that right now, you're already thinking about all the crazy shit you be doing, like, you know what I'm saying, you're not ready. You know what I mean? And these are all the snake skins that we gotta let off. So then when the time presents itself, you know, you do it, and like, you'll be surprised. People be spending crazy money. Like, we live in a crazy world, bro. Like, people be spending crazy money. It's because they really, really getting crazy money. It's really a great time to be living. I'm thinking everybody should try entrepreneurship. In my opinion, I've found the most spiritual people in entrepreneurship. In my experience, I found people who walk by faith. Not even just like me being a Christian or me being Muslim or whatever. I mean, like, walking by faith. Faith is an adjective. It's not something that you say. It's something that you show. You could be a Muslim and you could be Christian, but like, if both of y'all go home and just sit down on the couch all day, like, you not having faith. But if you a Muslim and you Christian and he Buddha, but all of you guys are walking in faith, y'all got something going on in y'all mind and y'all spirit, and y'all trying to go towards every day, and you genuinely believe in your spirit that your provider is going to yield this world for you. That's the people that I love. They walk in. That's like, I never met anybody who only have a job like that. Genuinely, that's my experience. I only met people who are the people that you admired are the crazy people. Like, I can't believe he said that. Most people that you meet at work, they won't have the nuts to say what somebody really like Kanye would say. Like, that's why I may not agree with what he's saying at all, but the audacity of him, you know what I'm saying?
Like that freedom.
The freedom. Like, it's just like, and that's why you hate on it. It's like, damn, I wouldn't say that. Like, I would care about what my mama's gonna say when she looks at it, even though she don't provide for me no more. I'm a grown man now. You know? It's so, like, you have to it just I think how you view what you do determines how you do what you do. To answer your question, entrepreneurship is a great thing, and it requires you to evolve yourself. You can start off at a job making 75,000, and you can go to making maybe 150, 200K, and you may not have to evolve yourself that much to do that. But if you want to go from 100,000 even to just 250 as an entrepreneur, there's some skin you gotta let go. That's just the truth. Go from 250 to half a ticket to an M, and then above and beyond. You know,
a lot of change.
And you know, you could already have been prepared for it, which means you were just not conscious about the skin that you were shredding off. But it's a requirement on this side. It's not a requirement on that side, in my opinion, in my experience.
And I think that's like the thing that I was saying. Like, I don't think people really understand, like, the mindset, the work, the growth, the sacrifice that comes with, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, it's more than just free time. Okay, what are you willing to sacrifice for this though? Okay, are you willing to sacrifice some relationships, some friendships, some free time, some money? You're gonna have to pay for whatever it is whatever your business is. You're gonna have to dump some money into it. And like you said, there is no guarantee. You throwing this shit up in the air and praying like, God, I just gave my whole life savings to this. I'm trusting that this will work in my favor. And it may not work the first year.
Yeah.
The second or the third year. But having the nuts to say, like, you know what, but I'm in this 10 toes down. I don't think people see that side of entrepreneurship. They don't see the mindset that where you up late at night and you still trying to come up with design because, your first batch of clothes might have sold, or your first business idea didn't work. Okay, cool. But now it's a whole nother demographic now. So now you got to switch your scheme up, or you got to adjust your business because times are changing. Like we were talking about earlier, times are changing. So nothing stays the same, especially with social media. Nothing really stays the same 3 to 6 months, honestly. So it's like, I don't think people see that side of entrepreneurship, the mindset.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely agree 100%. I also think that the times are changing and they're so great right now that, like, okay, like back in the day when McDonald's was created, like Ray Kroc, let's say the second phase of McDonald's when they start to get into franchise phase, right? We know Ray Kroc, he kind of took it, well, not kind of, he took it from somebody else. But the franchising phase, at the time where people were doing, they were putting their homes up for equity in order for them to have the capital to then go start these businesses, or they were going to banks and getting out massive loans in order to start a business. It cost him $100,000, $200,000 just for them to get their business off the ground. Right. But we're living in a time right now where you may be able to start your company, from a subscription you may start a Shopify store, and the subscription to start off is only $49 a month. And you can create something on Canva, or you can create all your products. You can create your whole scheme on a platform that you never even seen the shirt before. You never even touched it on your body, and you can start selling it on Shopify for $49.99. You may get that thing for 3 months free where you haven't even spent any money, and then you could generate your first 200 or 300 in sales. That may not be enough to take care of your life, but those little wins are the green light. I talked to my brother just maybe a couple days ago. Naturally, we always like to look for the negative things in life, so we always talk about the red flags in people. But we never talk about, like, what about green flags? In my business, with my life, what I like to look for is green flags. When I first started off in what I was doing everything for free. When the first time somebody paid me for a consultation, it was $25, right? I mean, gratefully, I'm not in a place where I would need to do that at this time. But at that time, like, I remember I was in Virginia, actually, when I got this. I was going to visit somebody else. I was doing another podcast, actually, and I got my first consultation for what I'm doing right now, and it was for $25. And I was just, like, super geeked because it was a representation that somebody could find me online, click the link in my bio, and then they'll pay me without ever talking to me. It wasn't, oh, wow, I can go buy a new car. But it wasn't that, but I seen what it could be. That gave me the vision to then, cast off the restraint of, like, doing anything else.
I can really do this.
Like, no, I can really, really do this. But then me thinking about, let's say if I was really, really doing it. Wow. So you mean to tell me, like, everything's happening from my phone so I could be anywhere, wherever I'm at? So, like, now this whole free stuff you're talking about, free time, waking up whenever you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a possibility.
That's real. That's super real. I definitely think people should know that. I think that, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. So sometimes even when people giving you information.
Hold on, bro. You can't, you got to say that again now, bro. You just can't skip over that now. You just drop a bomb like that and just normal conversations. Just, yep, blah, 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 boom. And then, come on now. Yeah, run that back, man.
Yeah, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Somebody, like, always thinks somebody is lying because they're a liar. Like, as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You can't even hide yourself as much as we try. Like, if you talk enough to somebody, you can't hide. You can't hide where you at in life. You can't hide, like, what you thinking about, what you got going on in your spirit. So we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. So sometimes if we giving people, that's why when I realized that, when I got education from my mentor, and, like, he put it in perspective for me, like, oh, okay, so, like, sometimes I could be sharing a perspective from only the way I'm seeing the world, but I'm telling you this is what you should be doing. This is not true, though. It's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still developing my perspective where I'm, as a baby, they start off seeing things blurry, and then they go from black and white, and they had a phase of black and white for a little bit. Right, for some months, and then when they start seeing color, if you got a baby, when they start seeing color, they just, like,
they start looking at everything.
And that's what we do as human beings. Now the thing is, though, defining is for the seeker. So if you don't really start to seek truth out here in the world, you may always be walking in the black and white, and then blurry. You may give people over the blurry. So then you share advice based on your experience, telling people this is what they should be doing, when the fact is you haven't even started seeing color yet. You don't even know. So that's why I always say, like, nothing that I'm telling you is the truth. It's a truth, or my truth, or it's a way. For sure it's a way. Now what I can tell you that is a way. I'm grateful that God is allowing me to be a living testament, for my life is increasing. So over time, like, what I'm saying may be the truth for somebody as my life continues to show. I always think that your opinions show up in your life. That's why I'm trying to give people the advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you think showing up.
Yeah.
How I'm thinking is showing up. It's the truth. Like the truth is freeing though. It's really freeing when you start thinking about like, damn, my opinions about the world that I live in, because we do live here. My life, like what I got in my account, these are just one aspect of it. But you know what I'm saying? Like how you live, what you want to live, all these things are only a representation of that. You know, your world. So, but somebody else living completely different. Like the gentleman y'all was speaking to, I don't know where he finna go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of car he finna get up in. You know what I'm saying? He finna drop all this stuff he was mentioning he got going on. I never seen him a day in my life. That's dope that we live in a world like that, bro.
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying? We're so many
real.
gods walking among us. I believe that we all gods, and that's why we got to show respect to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, you never know who you talking to. Bro got on a goddamn hoodie, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I feel like we put it on all the time, and like, bro walking around with nothing going on, but he talking about $1 million businesses.
Not fake.
That's the world we live in. That's a beautiful place to be, bro. It's a great time to be living. I think everybody should be trying. I recommend, because I don't know what you should be doing. I recommend that everybody should try entrepreneurship in some way, especially if you're living in America. You mind if I share why?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Okay. Your parents and your grandparents, right? And you and your kids, we by force, not by choice, were born into this economic system. Y'all know what the economic system is called?
Capitalism.
I would say America.
Capitalism. Now, capitalism can be looked at from a good perspective and from a bad perspective. You know, like if we compare to Dubai when they taking care of everybody's health insurance and things of that nature, that could be a negative aspect to capitalism. Somebody can't afford healthcare because it costs $27 or $32 a month. That may be a negative to capitalism. But when we talk about the capitalism, now if y'all don't mind, before I explain it, I'm big on understanding words, because you know the definition of future, the actual definition of our future, all of our future, is a time or a period of time following the moment of speaking or writing. That's the definition of our future. A time or a period of time following the moment of speaking or writing. So words are very, very powerful. So it's a lot of times we just be saying words, but like, and you may have a very good vocabulary, but maybe truly not deep depth understanding on the actual meaning of the word
Or what you're saying.
So which then means that you actually don't have a meaning on what you're understanding what you're saying, right? So you know, I Googled again, and then I copied and pasted what Google said in ChatGPT, and then asked ChatGPT to simplify it for me, because we living in that type of time. It's beautiful world we're living in. So on Google it says capitalism is often and I really want y'all to hear me on this, because you love this. You love this. You do. You got on nice stuff. You got on nice stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're drinking coffee. It's coffee going on in here. Y'all got phones. You know, you love capitalism. You do love it. So I want y'all to hear me on this though, because if we all understand it, we can all join the game. And this is how
That's already playing.
This is how we live a great life. But we gotta understand first, you know? Capitalism is often thought of as an economic system in which private actors own and control property in accordance to their interests, and demand and supply freely set prices in markets in a way that serves their best interests and interests of society. The essential feature of capitalism is to motivate to make a profit. All right. So I said, ChatGPT, break this down in simpler terms. All right. ChatGPT said, capitalism is an economic system where individuals and businesses own things like land, factories, and stores instead of the government. This is why America is the greatest country to me, in my perspective, because a lot of like other places look better, the girls is better and all that stuff. But then when you get a live in there, everybody doesn't have this, right? Capitalism is an economic system where individuals and businesses own things like land, factories, and stores instead of the government. People buy and sell goods and services based on what they want and how much they are willing to pay. The main goal in capitalism is to make a profit. You bought from somebody because they black owned. The simple fact that they was black owned, the brand may have been cool, but you really want support because that's like, man, like that's hard. You love capitalism. because you supported a black-owned business. You know, some other countries who can't do that.
That's
who can't do that. They can't go support the black-owned business because they can't go open a business. You know what I'm saying? Here in this country, in this world that we're living in, this is not just the country that we're living in, but we got to look at this different. This is our world. This is the world that we're living in. You can have no money or a little bit of money, have an idea, build some relationships, and you can become an individual that can own land, own stores, create products or services that people need in this country, and you could sell it to them at the price that you choose. And when use value exceeds cash value, every transaction adds to life. So your conscience may be low enough where you may not feel comfortable charging somebody $5,000. That's only because you don't see your level of value
at $5,000.
At $5,000, and that's just for one product, or maybe 10, or whatever it may be. But when you understand that when use value is higher than the cash value, every transaction is adding to life. So you may have bought a book for $35, and the book, to make the book, it only costs $3.50. So the actual value of the pages isn't worth the $35 that you spent, but the ideas and the information in the book could make you a multimillionaire, which means that this was more in use value that you paid in cash value. What if I have an offer that's $1,000? But this offer that's $1,000 or $2,000 is providing somebody a service or an opportunity for them to go in and make tens of thousands, or maybe not even make any money at all, but I'm solving a problem to help them do something that they're tired of. I help people start nonprofits. I charge a fee to help them with that. And although there's no guaranteed money right away just from starting a nonprofit, there are so many people who don't understand how to start a nonprofit, the verbiage, what to put on the application. So when they find me, like, I'm literally experiencing people enthused to pay me $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 at a time, and they're super, super happy about, I can't believe I found you on YouTube. I found your page on TikTok, man. I watch every video you put out, and man, I talked to my wife, and you know, she said that I shouldn't work with you because you're a stranger, but man, hey man, you're not a stranger. I watch every video you drop. You know, people. Just the other day, I was telling my mom, like, Mom, this lady done literally emailed me all of her information and her social, and ain't never seen me. And this is before she joined my business. But she was like, I know I want to work with you, so I wanted you to have everything before we got started because I didn't want you to not work with me. I'm like, yo, this is my experience is America though. Everybody has this same opportunity to do this, and people would be so enthused if you, let's say, give me an example. I know this may not be true. Let's say if you want to be a personal trainer, there's some fear in you stopping it because you're seeing it's saturated out in the market. You don't think it could be done, but there's somebody who would love to be trained by you. There's a market for anyone willing to expose himself. There's a market for anyone that's willing to expose himself. And your gifts will make room for you. All of us, every person in this world that you walk by has a gift. Every person. God did not skip out on anybody. But the rewards are only for those who are willing to expose it. We're living in a time right now when you can be exposing it for free. Yeah. You ride around, get on the highway when you guys leave here. Because everything is all about perspective, right? Perspective drives performance. You get on the highway when you leave here, just count how many billboards that you see. Count to 60. Like, count to 60 seconds. If you get on the highway, count to 60 seconds and just count how many billboards do I see? And then ask yourself, why? Why do I see all these billboards? Why do you think?
The advertisers programming.
Probably the mind span too, right? Every 60 seconds, the mind span.
No, you're gonna see 50, 20, 30, 40, 50 different billboards within that 60 seconds. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you saying how many times will you see it in that one year? Bro, because you know what? You know what I'm thinking? This how old I am. When you say the billboard, I'm thinking in my mind bro, I forgot they got digital billboards. That as you going, it's flipping, and then it's another one behind it that's flipping and flipping and flipping.
You've been seeing that though. You've been seeing that though since you was a kid. Why? You will always pay with your attention before you pay with your money. Always. businesses know that already, which is why they constantly market to you. Even now, like we see that streamers are becoming like a very big thing. Streamers are becoming like new rappers almost.
They are the new rappers.
So, but because like rappers always been cool, so like businesses, brands, they're giving them large amounts of money just so they can be a part. Like, hey, post us. You're cool. So we're cool because we're associated with you. Now these streamers like, you're cool. So we're going to give you
we used to get
40
rappers.
million. How's that? 40 million? That's a good amount. And this is the world that we're living in right now. And these people creating these contents, you know, starting off from their phone and, you know, investing into some laptops and stuff like this could be done. We're living in a world like your dreams could be done with, you know, with a couple $1,000 investment and, you know, millions of dollars worth of effort.
Thanks. Let me ask you this, man, because you dropping some game, man.
Some game. That's why I got him here, man.
Bro, you dropping some bars, bro. What is it that you actually do? Like, what is your brand and what is your business?
Yeah, man. So I run a company called the Nonprofit Launcher, and I always like to tell people, like, I feel like I've graduated from the phase of entrepreneurship. I'm a business owner. You know, I'm a company owner. When you think entrepreneurship, a lot of the time people think of individual effort. You know. But as a company owner, you think about like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can look at my phone and may have generated some revenue. If it's a sale that's for our service that we provide, which I'm going to mention here in just a second, it's already somebody who's got that same notification and they know now that there's work to be done, right? Which allows me to do my main thing, which is create content because that is how people pay me. People pay me first with their attention, which I want that. I want them to know that I'm the guy. And I'm very confident and I'm very consistent and I'm going to show you that I'm the guy by just being more consistent than everybody else. I'm not even trying that hard to do anything else other than be consistent because I don't even know who I'm competing against because I don't even look. Honestly, I have no idea. But I'm super consistent and the consistency creates authority. 90% of the people that you may sell to, they aren't consistent. So if they see that you are, like, again, we're going back to working out. If you see that, they see that you're consistent and they're not. But they see you posting every day because they're in a place that if you post where they're at every day, which is on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube, they're going to see that you're doing it every day, which then is going to lead to them want to buy from you. That's all that I do. So I run a company called the Nonprofit Launcher where we teach people how to start, operate, and scale their nonprofit organization. There's so many people who are uneducated about a nonprofit. They believe that nonprofit means no profit. When you hear that term nonprofit, you think, oh, I can't make any money at all. But the only way that I can make money is grants. But you see people online who are promoting grants, which is a great opportunity, but people don't know that only 16% of the nonprofit money comes from grants. The money that really is generated in the nonprofit space comes from program service fees. Over 57% comes from individual giving and program service fees, meaning that I could be a nonprofit organization and I can sell B2C, which is business to customer, you guys, or I can sell B2B, which is this organization. So I may be teaching you how to start a nonprofit and I may charge you $1,500 and we're going to do everything for you. But for an organization like this, I may charge them $15,000. And that's the same benefit that a nonprofit has as well. Right, they have that same opportunity as well, and then it's just a matter of what you do with the funds and how you continue to reinvest it back into the business, which then determines if it's a nonprofit. And obviously, it has to be something that is mission essential. But again, for what it is that we do at the Nonprofit Launcher, I started it off just by creating content. For my business, content is a very large aspect of my business because it is the lead magnet, it's the lead generator. But it's also the lead educator. Before someone even becomes a lead in my business, they have no need to click the links in my bio. I'm not one of those guys who's very super salesy because I'm learning from a gentleman named Myron Golding where you don't need to be. You can just simply provide the education, consistently provide the education, and then it makes you want to be like,
I gotta see what's up with you.
I'm getting all of this for free?
For free. So what's the pay look like?
So what's the cost? Come on, bro. When I started off in this space, we were starting off coaching. So because I started off coaching, I started off consulting before I started off coaching. And what I was doing was I was just doing free consultations, free 15-minute consultations. I probably did about 100 of them before it hit me to like, damn, you talk to 100 people, right? Like people clearly want this. You know what I'm saying? And like, but I was doing all this for free. But what I was doing is I was gathering data. I was gathering information on the problems that people were having. A lot of people were having the same thing. A lot of people, they were wanting to get started in the nonprofit space, but hadn't actually got started yet because of the verbiage of the application. They don't want to do it wrong. Somebody told them they can go to jail. All these false things, right? So then we started a coaching platform at first, which is just strictly nonprofit launcher coaching, brick by brick coaching. And we created a 6-figure company from just our coaching program. Now, within my coaching program, it's a 4-week program where I'm meeting with you once a week, and we're really diving deep on how to start your organization, where to file, how to file, creating all your documents, showing you how to create a marketing plan, putting you in a position, to learn how to. I think one of the biggest issues, people don't know how to communicate what they want to do, and conversation rules the nation. So it's important for us to continue to gain the confidence to speak to people.
Facts.
In relationship, you got a girlfriend. Like if you know how to talk and you want her, like if you already got her and you know how to communicate, you really can't lose her if you know how to communicate. A lot of times we don't know how to really get our point across. We I don't know if we that like we like pussies.
Yeah.
Like we don't really. You know what I'm saying? It's like Batman and the Joker. People always people want to be the Batman, but don't forget that he became the villain. Like people don't like that. Like we don't like the idea of somebody not liking our decisions, whatever. But like that keeps us small though. Like, hey bro, look, I'm leaving here and I really got real shit going on despite on how you really feel about me. And I learned that as I started to accumulate success, like, oh damn, opinions really don't matter. Like this person thinks that I'm this, and I know I'm not that, but then my life is telling me that I'm this.
I'm this, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Their opinion don't matter.
And then you probably never see that person again,
ever again,
or whatever,
But then shit, what if I'm seeing them tomorrow? And my life is just increased. I just got my rent times 2 or 3 times again today. You know what I'm saying? And if I did it like, and you may have the same negative feeling about me, but damn, that didn't stop my emotion.
That didn't stop.
So I have that same feeling towards friends, and I love everybody. I love my mom, but like. I understand though that like my mom could feel negatively about how I'm doing, and she loves me. My mom really supports me. But if she didn't, that wouldn't stop what's going on in my life right now. It wouldn't.
Not for real. You can keep on rolling.
Me realizing that though is helped me walk more in my truth, because like that's how I get to where I'm going, is me walking in my truth, regardless of how a motherfucker feel about it. And it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned mentorship earlier, and then you brought up Myron Golden. So Myron, I've been watching this crazy. I watched like 3 different interviews with Myron Golden yesterday, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
he crazy.
his thought process.
Shout out Myron Golden.
Is so insane. So with you mentioning mentorship, how important is mentorship for? Do you think that's somebody that you should only get if you're an entrepreneur, or can you get it as an everyday person? But how important is mentorship?
That's a great question. Honestly, I'm going to be super honest with you, and I'm not sounding hokey. I truly don't be like considering the actions of the everyday person. That's not what I'm trying. That's not what I'm on. So like, honestly, I don't know. If you're not trying to become more, nothing that I'm saying is for you, I think. Like, so only the people that resonate with me are people who desire to be better, desire to do more in their life, be more in their life, because there's more for you because there's more in you.
Facts.
And when we know that, it's like maybe I need a mentor. So I think that no one is a regular Joe, and like, no one is an average person. We may make average choices, and then like we may hear that so much, like just a regular guy, man. And there's no offense to that at all. But like everybody walking around here just thinking that they regular guys.
They're not.
And your belief of who you are in this world will be who you are in this world.
There's a saying that says, "How do you know what you don't know?" Right. And I hear you speak about, like that confidence, right? And I know for me, like growing up my whole life, like my mom and my grandmother has always just put that in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be this, you strive to be the best and do this and that, and they like build me up, right? But I know a lot of people don't have that, but obviously you talk about your parents a lot, and I hear you talk about your mom. Were they the ones that kind of sparked that confidence in you early to where you realized it? Or was it later in life to where, you went through some experiences and went through some things and like, oh, okay, through this experience and through this guidance, now I have the confidence that I need? Or was that always there?
It's a good question. I think that everything is about the foundation, right? So I genuinely believe that like I was loved as a kid. Like even me seeing how my mom treats me now. My dad's definitely a great dad, but my mom is like super like, you know what I'm saying? She a mom.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but when people turn 18, 19, 20, like their parents kind of can maybe not be parents, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're not really parenting no more. Now they just like, yo, what's up?
Vibing,
This is vibing with each other.
hands
But it's
off.
not.
Yeah.
Nah, my mom like real parenting still, like, you know. So I think that definitely has played a factor for sure. I think that it definitely has played a factor. My dad being in my life has definitely played a factor. But I could also say there's some other reasons. I think, man, bro, God is very real.
Yeah.
God is very real.
Yeah.
I don't know how I came to, man, my dad used to, I wasn't a good reader when I was in maybe fifth grade, maybe sixth grade. Yeah, sixth grade, seventh grade. I wasn't like the best reader. I wasn't like terrible, but I wasn't the best. And I was a good talker though. But my dad could see the difference. He could see how my talking ability is, and when I read something, it's like, oh, his whole tone done slowed down.
Yeah.
So he used to make me read the Bible every morning when he used to take me to school. He didn't take me to school every morning, but like I used to go to his house a few times a week. And every day, like, I get the book, go to Genesis 13:1. Like me, I'm not knowing what none of this stuff is, but you know, I know it is the Bible. But I think that, you know, that definitely has played a part. And yeah, man, I think I'm lucky and blessed and favored, truly. And then, you know, me realizing that over time and accepting it, the acceptance that's when it gets scary. Like I'm 32 right now. I got the Navy. I was 28. I got the Navy in 2020, April. You know, it's January, February. We're March right now.
Yep.
You know, it's almost been 5 years of me having to unlearn and relearn. And so like my confidence level is super high now, though. And my acceptance level is even higher too of who I believe that I am. And you know, I listen to this program called The Science of Getting Rich. I would highly recommend anybody that is just trying to evolve, just listen to it. You can listen to it on Apple Music. You listen to it on Spotify. It's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Waddle. Listen to it top to bottom. You can listen to Lil Wayne top to bottom. You know, they say that it's harder to believe the truth than the lie. Because the lie is right in front of you and it requires no brain power. But the truth is something that you have to use your brain and like go spend some time and search for. So the finding is for the seeker, though. The finding is for the seeker. Doors shall be open to those who continue to knock. That's how it works. So like, I feel blessed, but I also feel proud that like I've chosen to like walk a certain type of path, like to read books and gain knowledge and gain understanding, because I could see the benefits in my life. And the thing is about this, unfortunately, like it's like a bamboo tree. Bamboo tree though might sit under the ground for 5 years before it becomes the tallest tree in the city though. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Cool. That's a bar, boy.
yeah.
Let me put that in my notes.
Bro, listen, man, bro, you dropping some real stuff, bro. I just want to say this, man, to the young people out there, because I think our audience is young, you know what I mean? Because we ranging right now from about ages of 25 to like 35, right? And that's the age group of the time, especially for us black men, we're really trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? And the understanding for me, right? Because as a profession, I'm a manager, you know what I mean? So I manage a lot of young black males, bro, who like when you say things like you're saying and you're trying to get them to overcome those blockages, those things that standing in front of them, when you can show them like they can see you with all the jewelry and you know what I mean? You speak so well and hear you inspire them, but it's just something that could be blocking them, bro. And I know you're saying like, bro, them not the people that I necessarily talk to, you know what I'm saying? But at one point in time, we all was there, bro. If you could like give them like some encouraging What would you say to that person, bro?
Life will talk to you over your years, and if you listen to it more than you listen to people, I really believe you'll be in a good place.
Well, you better, boy.
Life will definitely always talk to you.
Facts.
There's always signs, right? I don't need to talk to anyone, get any advice. That's a good thing that we do. We should do that because a lot of people are great. But also, though, we got to do more of listening to ourselves and just trusting what we know, knowing that I know what I know and I know what I don't know, and that's all I need to know. And like trusting what I do know, though. Yeah. Like, damn, you know what? I do know this. But truly though, I think that it's something. What I could say to them is I would want to be around more and get around them more, because if they see me in a way, or they see you in a way, or they see you in a way, they need to see it enough for it to trigger this belief. That's what happened to me. Like I was already kind of, you know, he was kind of going back to even what you asked me. I was already kind of wanting to do something with my life, kind of, right? I mean, yeah, I would say kind of. But then I joined this company called World Financial Group, like I mentioned. And that was the first time I started seeing people who were making $100K a year. And then I met a dude named RIP Joey Colasito. Joey and Joanna Colasito, they were making $250,000 a year. They had like a ring, they had like a nice Mercedes, and they had this red ring. And then I met a dude in California. He was making $500,000 a year. He had a gold Rolex. He had a whole, like, this suit was like super white. Like he ain't never wore that shirt before. You know how over time you wear the little brown get on the he ain't never wear that shirt
brand
before,
new,
bro. Brand new. He had gold cufflinks, and I started going to gold cufflinks. He had a gold cufflinks, and then he had the gold rollie, and I was just like, oh my God. He had his name stitched, and I just always thank God, because I know that
that's exposure, bro.
The lack of exposure. It's hard to attract what you haven't been exposed to.
Yeah, facts.
It's hard to attract what you haven't been exposed to. So I've been I've been exposed to really levels. There's levels out here, man. Y'all know that? Y'all know that? Y'all know that?
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
Facts. Yeah, it's some levels. Not for sure.
And we're not talking about like 50, 60-year-olds.
No.
Young guys. Young guys. I'm 40.
We talking about 28.
Yeah. 25.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah,
having their way.
25.
Yeah. In a year type. You know, this is real life that's happening right now.
Yeah.
So I think that with the youth knowing that, being exposed to that over and over and over and over and over again, it's like I was getting out the Navy. And I won't say the gentleman's name because I actually really respect this gentleman. He may watch this podcast. But when I was getting out the Navy, I was telling him I was getting out, telling him what my plans was, and he was telling me like, "Man, don't get out that Navy. You just stay in the Navy. Ain't nothing out here. You getting guaranteed money. You getting that consistent money. You know, you getting disabilities. They take care of everything.
And putting their limits on you.
You just stay in the Navy. Ain't nothing out here." And like, bro, like, I have months like what I had my whole year in the Navy. At my E5 level, whatever that was making 48, 50K a year. I've done that more than double that in a 30-day time span. You know? So it's like, man, I thank God that I ain't believe that. But the reason why I didn't, to my point, is because I had exposed, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That exposure creates a truth. Like, you saying what? You saying it's wet out here? You saying it's tough out here?
So it's possible.
You saying everybody's struggling out here?
Bro, they said two things can be true at the same time.
Which can be true.
Yeah. People are struggling, but guess what? On the other side of that, people winning too.
Yeah.
Big. Just as much as people losing, people winning, bro.
And people are struggling, but see, what I think is that people only look at that. Just like I mentioned the green flag, but they don't really consider how many people are winning. If I ask y'all may know the answer, but if I ask you, just throw a number out there, whatever you think. How many millionaires do you think are in America?
In America?
In America.
Shit.
It's over 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it's like, I think we got 90-something in Dallas.
We have 2,000 something in Dallas, and there's 20 million millionaires in America, not in the world.
Yeah,
you hear me? That type of perspective and realization, like, gotta stop tricking yourself. Somebody's hard because you walk around with this victim mindset, like, man, I'm black. It's tough out here, man. Like, it may be, but it's actually more tougher for you to overcome how you've been thinking about this thing, not the actual work that's required for you to jump from 100,000 to 200,000 or 100,000 to $1 million. It's your belief system. And as we get older, we really believe we think we right. But I always, like, and even for myself, that's why I always say, like, I'm not sure how right I am because there's a lot of people who are way more successful than me. I know I'm on my way. My life is showing me that, like, it's working for you. Definitely keep going. But nothing that I'm saying is the truth because there's somebody above me, higher than me, living better than me. And it's like, what do they believe? I never even talked to them. I don't even know. Yeah. So how could I say what I'm saying is the truth?
The truth.
You know, it's a truth.
But I do know the truth is that the opportunity is out here for all of us. I do know that that's not my truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. Whatever you want to know, you can go, like, any question that somebody want to pick up the phone and call and ask you, all you got to do is copy and paste in Google. And Google will literally give them an answer. Literally. Now, we're not even talking about AI. We're not even talking about AI.
Yeah, just Google.
Like, Google is AI. Google has been AI. Like, AI has been around. You know, you ever call AT&T? You got to pay a bill.
Yeah.
Who do you talk to?
Automated
system. It's an automated system.
What is it? What is it?
Representative.
Yeah.
Representative.
I'm steady saying that. Pressing 0.
That's AI.
That's facts.
That's AI. This stuff has been around, but it's just now, like, becoming more something that we, the general population, as far as, you know what I'm saying, got our hands on. But, you know, man, God is great, bro. It's a great time to be living. I really believe that.
Bro. Man, listen, bro.
Hey, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Again, you were handpicked for this because I feel like in this time, in this day and age, people need to hear your mindset. Even me watching you make the content that you create for Instagram and the messages that you put out, I understood and I knew that there was a certain mindset that you had to have for you to speak with the conviction and the confidence you speak. And so it's a lot of people that don't have this. A lot of people that they want something because of the way it looks on Instagram, or they want a certain lifestyle, or it may not even be a certain lifestyle. They may just want better for themselves. They may want to provide for their family. Yeah. They may be in downtown, or they probably are working a job they feel like is draining them, but they don't have their mindset. And so I said, this is the person, this is the guy I feel like can come and speak to people to give them a certain mindset to understand that it's more to them than whatever current life that they feel like they not enjoying.
I appreciate that, man. It's not even like, and truly, like, my message is not about, like, you got to do more, you got to get more money, and you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, although I do believe that you do need to do that. Yeah. But more importantly, I think you need to do that. But life is showing me and you that we need to make a lot of money. Yeah. You know, like, it's just the truth. Life may show you that you should stretch, right? Life may show you that you should save more. Life may show you that you gotta make more money, or you gotta downgrade. You know, we live here. It's showing you. So, like, we can't ignore the fact that it costs to be alive. Yeah. You can't go a week without spending any money. It's almost impossible. Something's gonna happen. You gotta do something. You need some water. You need something.
Eggs, eggs. Boy, ooh, eggs, man. I'm finna start trapping eggs now.
And, you know, like, we look at that perspective of, like, okay, eggs is $10 and all that, and that's outrageous. That's outrageous. But imagine the individual who has the power to set that price. You never look at that. Look at it from his angle, from her angle. Now, is this good or bad? We can argue both. But, like, what if you had the power to raise the price of eggs to $10, and you over there stupid dumb rich, and you see, oh damn, me raising the price from an egg from $6 to Warren Buffett said when he bought Coca-Cola, all he did was raise the price a penny to make an extra $1 million a year.
Shit,
a penny. I saw that. Yeah, you said a penny, bro.
You know, so if they raising the price this much amount of money, and, like, you know, they may be bringing in an extra few $1 million a day.
And people complaining, but
so if you and it's fair to complain, but again, you just have
buying
to.
them eggs,
If you understand capitalism, you understand the game, then you also understand that like I can't be complaining about the eggs. I got to make sure I'm participating enough to afford the eggs. That's all. That's all. That's all. Like, what sense does it make for you to complain about a system that you have literally no power over? So we're spending time talking about what? So you really want to sit here, bro, and we want to spend hours talking about something you can't fix, fool? How's this going to take us to a new place? Ain't that what we're trying to do, though? We're trying to go to a new place, higher places. So, like, let's focus on what we can do. We can understand what capitalism is. Oh, I see why the egg dude, he raised the price because he can.
Enjoying the game.
Once you start to get that level, then you start having the Congress jump in. They can kind of dictate some pricing a little bit. But imagine that. Imagine getting
having
to that
point. Conversation. Yeah.
Bro, like y'all both y'all entrepreneurs. Like imagine your idea that you have in your head right now becomes big enough where the government is telling you that, hey, bro, you need to lower your prices. We need to sit down and talk about this.
Yeah.
That's real leverage, bro. What?
Thanks.
So like when you understand the game, you can look at it from both sides. Again, I believe that they're more wrong than right, but what if I was in their shoes and I want, you know what I'm saying? We living out here in America. Well, I know you don't give a shit about me. You know? What? Big bills.
Everybody caring about themselves. Yeah, that's real.
You care about my bills?
That's real. Everybody's trying to survive.
Not. You ain't even asked me not once, which I don't expect you to.
Yeah.
But also, you can't expect for me to take the cards when it's in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Why would you? Why would? If you were in my shoes,
what would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do? That need to be the title. If you was in my shoes,
but what would you do? It's a fairness. It's only a level of understanding that allows you to think with that level of fairness, even if you feel like you're on the wrong side of the playing field. Don't realize, but when you realize all these things that I'm saying, you realize that there is no such thing as the wrong side of the playing field. Once you get educated, because then you can participate, and then you can afford because like we can complain, but you think the eggs are going to get cheaper or more expensive? You think something's gonna happen, or the government is gonna come save the world, and everything's gonna be cheap like it was in the year 2000? Niggas better wake up. It's gonna be more expensive than it is now.
Everything finna go up.
Everything. But like you don't say that when your job gives you an increase in 2% pay. Why are they doing that? You think they doing that because you everybody deserves an increase because y'all showing up and giving y'all time? That's not how the world works, bro. It's an increase because they see that I have to pay these people more. They may leave. The world is costing more, so we give like that little 1 or 2% increase. You know, a couple of little extra cents that make it a few extra $1,000s a year that make you feel like, nah, I'm making more money. Like my job paying me more money, and like, you know what I'm saying, I'm able to live out here in this world. There's no problem then when you're getting an increase at your job, right? But
you happy for another year, 6 months.
Who gotta pay you though? It's so many perspectives to look at this. Like, have you ever paid somebody and then paid them $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100K a year? And then what if they knew what you was really doing?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like none of these things are, but the truth will set you free though. The truth will set you free to create this peace in your heart and your spirit. It's like, man, I'm out here creating my reality, and I gotta give everybody a chance and room to do the same.
Thanks.
That's why, you know, I don't really try to be too advisable, give too much advice. We just having a conversation. Just because like
great conversation.
I don't know if people be needing that. I think people need to talk to themselves. If I had to say what people needed to do, they need to like to take in less sometimes. Take in less.
But you said something though. You said something earlier though. Like it's all about you, like knowing what you want, getting by yourself. And I think people don't want to sit by themselves. And I think that's where you discover.
Place for bro.
But you got to though. You got to sit by yourself, like in a room with your thoughts. When you can say, what do you, like when you talk about consulting, right? It's when I ask people, what you want, why you want it, and how will somebody else benefit from it? And a lot of times they can't even get past the first question of, what do you want? And it's like, when are you going to sit down and think about what you want? Because if you ask somebody right now, name 10 things that you don't want, they'll say it fast. Man, I don't want this, I don't want that. Now name 10 things you do want. And they'll probably get to 3 or 4, but then they'll start struggling because in their mind, they can't see themselves further than what they are. But when you take that time and really sit by yourself and your thoughts to understand, what is it that I want out of life?
Imagine feeling bad about a world that feels great about you.
Thanks.
Imagine God creating you with all the gifts to tell you that he plans to prosper you, not harm you. Imagine that. Imagine that if that was a truth of your creation, imagine you being scared to be alone with that. Man, that's a lot of worldly shit going on out here that's tricked you.
Thanks.
And got you thinking that like you being by yourself is a dark place and it's a fucked up place when really all the beauty is there. Shit is flowers and roses and the ocean and all these things. Like all these things are there when alone. So when you go into a relationship, you know, you should go there happy, bringing happiness to it, not seeking happiness from it. You know what I'm saying? You should go there with bringing love to it.
Already complete.
Not looking to get love. Of course you want to get love, but not to just get love from it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I definitely recommend that lonely place. I think as young people, just from the outside looking in, we're struggling in relationships right now because we so afraid to be alone. So we go from person to person to person to person to person, and we never spend time creating a standard for ourselves, finding out about ourselves for real, really creating this peace and serenity within ourselves. To then actually attract the right person. We keep attracting the same type of person because we haven't evolved. And, you know, again, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. We don't attract who we want. We attract who we are. Yeah. Not even if it's not exactly who you are, what it's going to be is, you know, and this is the Bible, it's going to be a reflection of who you are. So even when we portray ourselves to be this and this and this and that, when you have an individual that's in your life and then, you know, you really get a chance to see them, this is just God. This is a great reflection of some of the decisions that you make, the thoughts that you have. And you know,
it's a saying that say that you are the sum total of your experiences, nothing more, nothing less. And where we are now is because of the decisions that we made. And I think that's the mindset. Like for me, it's like if I want to be this person, I gotta start doing the activities of it. Like you said, Martin Golden say, man, that be do have. It's like you gotta be the person to do the thing to have what you want to have. But until you even come to the realization, like you gotta be that person. You gotta do those activities, and the more you do it, the more I say I'm the #1 podcast in the world, and the more we show up and continue to be, like one day. It's gonna be that, you know what I mean? No, but we're that before we're already there.
Exactly. And when it arrives, it's gonna be like, damn, it's like deja vu.
Yeah. We already seen it.
We already seen it.
I don't remember who said it, but they said something along the lines of, you know, we all walk around with the concept that our experiences have created our beliefs. But when in reality, our beliefs are creating our experience. You know what I'm saying? So we walk around here still saying that it's our dad's fault. Still saying it's our mom's fault. Which it's some cases may be, but it's only because you've chosen to still attach yourself to that story. Instead of starting to tell yourself a new one. And which will then create new thoughts, but then we'll have better activities. I think like conversations, like when consulting, I think one thing I'm very good at is asking questions. Because I believe that the quality of the questions that you, even with myself, I believe that when I'm mentoring somebody, like I really ask real super dead ass questions. And I'm more than sure that they probably, nobody else has, not that they don't care, they don't have the nuts to like, no, I want to hear you tell me. You know, first time I mentor was like, so how much money you got? Like a lot of your homies don't really ask you that. Like, show me. They may say, how much money you got? But then having somebody who really trying to hold you accountable, like, show me. Showing somebody how much money you got, it could be a really great thing, like, or it can be like, damn, somebody know, bro. Bro, somebody know. So how I portray myself, like, damn, he know I only got like this. And that accountability though is like, you up. That's when you up all night, like trying to figure it out. I think mentorship is very, very powerful. When you willing to like, when the mentor though is really willing to like, I don't think you're not gonna do nothing to me. So I can not disrespect you, but I can ask you any question, and I know it's probably not something you had before, and it's brutal enough for you to be truthful. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
be truthful.
Make a change.
You say you're busy all day. Show me what you did today. What's your schedule like? Tell me. And then this is when it starts getting a little stuttering. It's like, all right, you know, I can be around you for just one day, and I can know, yeah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just be talking a lot. That's all. You're talking a lot, and the talking, it feels so real, like almost like you've done something. You know what I'm saying? You can have a conversation with somebody for hours and y'all talk about y'all dreams, and it's just like, man, you got off the phone like, ooh, I'm on my way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then like you really ain't did anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know? The feeling
The
could be
feeling.
the same.
Yeah.
So when you gotta have that type of awareness. So, but again, going back to that, we walk around here believing that our experiences create our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Really, our beliefs are creating our experiences. So as we start to change our belief, the conversations that we have ourselves, to what I was saying, like I feel like the quality of the conversations that you ask yourself determine the quality of the life that you live within yourself. The quality of the life that you live within yourself determines the quality of life that you create around yourself. A lousy question will always get a lousy answer. Why are you so dumb? You make a mistake. Why the fuck you so dumb? Your brain subconsciously, maybe not right away, but if it starts to figure out a way to answer your question.
Ooh,
And then this creates a belief.
Mm-hmm.
And then this belief creates what? The experience.
Yeah.
And then it becomes it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
This belief is creating experience. Belief creating experience. But then, but this could be easily be changed when we go back to definition of future. Our future, your future, my future.
Mm-hmm.
A time or a period of time following the moment of speaking or writing. So like the affirmation things and little shit like that, people be saying, that shit is very, very, very real. You listen to speaking. People are we may pray every night, but there's something that it says you should be praying without ceasing. I mean, it's a constant thing. You know what I'm saying? Every time you guys ask me a question, like I'm constantly like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, I'm doing this. But it's a buildup. I haven't always been that way, but it's a buildup of like, man, thank you, God, for giving me the gift of gab to just lay it out. I know I'm cold. And I that's a belief. So thank you, God, for giving me this intent. Thank you, God, for giving me this spirit. It's a constant thing, which then leads day by day, though, it becomes a habit. And like, this is the key thing. You don't control your life. Your habits do. And number two is the second thing that controls your life is after habits is what you love. What you love and who you love controls you. 100%, 1000%. Just think about it. Whatever you love, whatever feeling, just in your life, whatever feeling that you love, you love it enough where it controls you. For sure. Whoever that you with, if you love them past yourself, your actions are controlled. So it's very important to like be mindful of what you love and who you love when you realize that love is in control, bro. Love is it. You seen people do some crazy shit for love. Maybe yourself, like
that's real.
But it may be you may have done some even crazier shit for the love of something, not just someone. You know what I'm saying? So love is in control. So we gotta be mindful of our habits, because our habits control us. But we also gotta be mindful of like what we love and who we love, because those things also control us. So if we love money too much, more than we love people, if we want to use money, get money to use people instead of helping people and just using money, then you will meet someone, and there's a lot of people out here who are super rich with that mentality, by the way. So that's why I can't tell you that's the way, because you may just want the money. And if you just want the money, then hey,
It's plenty of ways.
It's plenty of ways. Ain't no rules. You live in America. It's what I just read to you. It's to me, capitalism is in alignment with like God, personally. It's like it's the freedom, the free will.
Not free.
We all have that. God gives us all that free will. He gives us light and darkness, and you choose how you want to be out here living, my boy. There's gifts, and then there's laziness. You choose which one you want to be out here pushing. It's totally up to you. The more you do, the more you lean into, the more I lean into.
That's a fact.
Himothy, man, God.
Where can they find you at, my boy?
Yeah,
You
man.
can find me on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube at The Nonprofit Launcher. That's where I teach people how to start operating skilled nonprofit organizations. So if you're interested in learning how to start a nonprofit, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch as many pieces of content as you need to understand how to start a nonprofit, how to get operating, how to get scaled, how to get funding. All that is on my YouTube channel, and I'm always constantly dropping new videos. You can also find me on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok at Tim Wright. That's where I initially built my business. And then you can also find me on Instagram at Himothy DFW. I have a YouTube channel at Himothy DFW as well, where I'm promoting music. But really, honestly, I've been in business mode. I've just leaned back into the music like at the beginning of this year, because I get too many green flags, like I mentioned. Too many. And I know that. I don't know if it's what I'm supposed to be doing, but I do know it's what I should be doing in this time in my life. You know, as far as like what I'm doing, the message I receive is all the same. So yeah, man. So y'all can find me at, man. I appreciate y'all for having me up here.
Hey, man, appreciate you, man.
For dropping the game, bro.
Another masterclass, bro. Another one, back-to-back masterclass,
another
bro.
one,
For real.
bro. We definitely got to get you up here again for another one for part two, bro. Definitely.
Hey, man, this has been a great episode, man. For real, man.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
I appreciate you for coming on, man. Hey, Mozzie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? D the Motivator. Hey, I don't even normally I have something to say. I'm gonna be honest, man, at the end of the show. But like
you
this show,
cook, bro.
I don't even think I need to say anything, bro. Like, I'm gonna just let you close it out, right? So if you could just look into that camera, man, and just think about in terms of this gonna be your one Instagram clip that's gonna play over and over and over and over and over, man, for the world to see. What you gonna say to him?
I would say that God is great, and you may not be where you want to be, but man, just thank God that you're not where you used to be. You may not be who you want to be, but man, just thank God that you're not who you used to be. You feel it in your spirit that God is calling you to a new level. You feel it. I know that you know. And he would never give you the invitation if he was overly concerned with your limitations. Lean into it. It's for you. You feel it. You feel it. It's for you. Quit acting like it's not. I believe in you. I respect you and your journey. And if you ever see me, man, let's take a picture of something. Love.
Yeah. Can I be real? Can I be real in the building, man? We out. Close out, Spider.